let's start. So I call the Human Relations Commission meeting for November 10th to order at 6:01. Okay, member roll call
Roll call. Commissioner Thompson,
here.
Commissioner Al-Chakar, absent. Commissioner Carlson,
Here.
Commissioner Laws, absent. Commissioner Hill Melvin,
Present.
wonderful, thank you. Commissioner Mello, absent. Commissioner Magallanes is here. Commissioner Averett,
Here.
thank you. Commissioner Padilla,
Here.
thank you. Commissioner Dixon,
Here.
Commissioner Khan, absent. Commissioner Rabbi Solomon,
Here.
wonderful. And a new alternate, Commissioner Longest.
Here.
Wonderful, thank you. That is all.
All right. So the agenda was distributed to everyone.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Yes.
Tim, did you get the agenda? I don't know if you were on our list. You probably did.
I don't think I've received it yet.
Yeah.
I can forward it to him.
Can you forward him the agenda or just that email that you have?
Sure, I do want to make one edit to the agenda.
Mhm.
There is a line that needs to be edited that says approval of minutes from September meeting. That needs to read approval of minutes from October meeting.
Oh, good catch. I
Yes,
didn't-
I just recognized that.
All right, so let's first approve the agenda.
Aye.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda
Approval of
for
the
November 10th, 2021.
I move approval of the agenda.
Yeah.
Second?
Second.
Okay.
I second.
Anybody, all for aye?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? So moved. Agenda moves forward. Approval of the minutes for October.
Mhm.
Anyone have any comments about the minutes for October? Any changes, updates that's required? I'll take a motion to move to approve the October minutes.
Move approval of the minutes of October.
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, move it forward. Thank you all. Chairman report. I'm going to make this really brief because we have guests. Budget number is the same as it was last time, 14,568. The biggest pieces I'm going to touch is
Okay.
we have a new alternate. Tati?
Yes. On the agenda is 4,568. In what I made a copy of the budget is 14,568 on the agenda, but on the report itself that I made a copy, it comes out to 14,000 even. Yeah. When I made the copy, it comes out.
Yes,
14,000.
that's the budget. That we'll talk about that. I did not,
Okay.
the budget is an estimate and it's,
Okay.
and I'm just using the top. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
make it for the exact amount.
Okay.
And
Thank
we'll
you.
talk about that. Thank you though for pointing that out.
Mhm.
We have a new member. Tim Longest will serve as an alternate. And so, Tim, I want to introduce you.
Sure. Thank you, Mary.
Mhm.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tim Longest. I've lived in Raleigh District D, I think for almost 3 years now. I work as a law clerk at the North Carolina Supreme Court. And I'm just hoping to get more involved in city life. And I've really admired the work of this committee, and I'm happy to join y'all as an alternate member.
Wow. that's
Welcome.
Exciting. Welcome.
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 And November is Native Heritage Month, National Family Caregivers Month, Transgender Awareness Month. Tomorrow, we all know that it's Veterans Day. And starting November 22nd, we'll start Disability History Month. On November 2nd, I presented our work plan for 22. It was approved, really not many questions. Well, not any questions, just more of a supportive nods. The assistant city manager presented the recommendations we had for the offer grants, and they were approved. And the city manager made a request for another $1 million to support an initiative to give support to the nonprofits that well, I wouldn't say just the nonprofits that didn't, but nonprofits that are in the Raleigh area that need assistance with preparing grant applications, some of the things they need so the next time they apply. So just getting them up to speed. There was no more details around that, but the city council, the mayor and city council did approve that $1 million.
That's fantastic.
So that's very good. We're excited about that. I want to thank everyone for helping and reading the work plan, approving the work plan, approving the recommendations. Big shout out to anybody that worked on the grants. That was a lot of work in a very small amount of time. But I think we came out with something that was very good work. I mean, I'm really, really proud of how we got to where we got to. They're very, very proud of that. I've been asked to sit on an interview panel for the Director of Equity and Inclusion on November 30th. So they are interviewing. I'll be on the interview panel. I provided a list of hate groups in North Carolina to the commissioners in an email over this past month. I'm concerned that there's not enough education out to the Raleigh residents on how to report hate crimes to the North Carolina Human Relations Commission. And I'd like us to start thinking about that and how we can maybe help in our work to get that word out and to make that more, to lift it up. And some of the commissioners attended the Powwow event in Dix Park a couple of Saturdays ago, which was a wonderful event. A little chilly at first, but very good event. And our, I don't know if some of you know Trey, and I can't think of his last name, should have wrote it down.
Roberts.
Huh?
Roberts. I think it's
Yeah.
Robert.
Thank you. So he was a commissioner, human relations, he was a part of the Human Relations Commission. And he was the leader of this event. So we're very proud to see to see Trey and, or Commissioner Roberts, or ex-Commissioner Roberts, I guess. So it was a wonderful day. So next year, I hope that others will go. I'm so happy that Commissioner Khan brought it up, because that's something that I probably would have missed. So I'm very, very happy about that. All right, so that's what I have. So any questions? Okay, Travis?
I had a quick question. You said you were being interviewed, you were sitting on the interview panel of the DEI. What was the position that the city recently created, as appointed? Maybe Travis knows that?
It's Dr. Caesar's position.
Oh, was it that just, okay, I didn't know, I thought I read that was a new position as well. I didn't realize that, just, okay. Found it real
I'm
quick.
sitting on the panel for to interview for the position that Dr. Caesar had.
Oh, okay, I see.
The new position is the Office of Community Engagement, and we have the new appointed person is actually here and going to say hi to us.
Gotcha. I
So
knew that.
hold on.
Just testing everybody, so. Well done, Mary. Staying on your toes, boss.
All right.
Just a follow-up to that. What's the timeline to, I guess, for the interviews for the executive director position and hiring?
I guess I'll hear all of that on the 30th or before. I just got the email that if I was available.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I look forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah. All right. Travis?
Yeah, so in terms of staff liaison report, I'm going to be very brief. Mary, I'll echo two of the things that you mentioned. The first one, just congratulations to the commission on the approval of the work plan and the ARPA funding recommendations, and then also a very humble welcome to alternate Commissioner Longest as he's joining us. I will tell you all that currently as it sits, you have 12 members on the commission right now. You're allocated 14. So there is a strong likelihood that the alternate currently Longest will soon be Commissioner Longest as well. So that's something to keep on your radar.
But I thought our 14 included the 2 alternates.
So my understanding is, and we're working with the city clerk to better understand. My understanding is that it's 14 commissioners and 2 alternates. Now, I can do some investigating and make sure that I'm clear on that, but my understanding is that it's 13 commissioners, 1 youth commissioner, so that brings you to 14, and then 2 alternates.
Oh, well,
So,
then we've been down for a while.
yes. So if I hear anything different than that, then at the next meeting, and certainly with the leadership team in the interim, I'll report out on that. But my understanding is 14, so I'll get more clarity on that. In terms of kind of events and things that are happening in the near future, conversations we're having, as Mary mentioned, it is Native American Indigenous Persons Month. So I know that our office, one of my colleagues, Sarah Hertrick, is working to put together a digital or a virtual rather event celebrating that month and engaging with some folks in the Indigenous persons community, the Native American community in the city of Raleigh, and internally as an organization, and then also in the greater Raleigh community as well. So as I learn more details about that, I believe that it will be happening in the next week to week and a half. She's working on finalizing some of the details with speakers and things of that nature. I'll provide information to this board because that is very much so in the scope of what you all do. This Saturday, I know that we always support fellow boards, and I wanted to share this information. The Fair Housing Hearing Board is conducting a supply giveaway, storm supply giveaway with the winter approaching. They will be at Worthdale Park this Saturday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. And for the first 100 families that are there that are in need, they will be giving away storm supplies. So that is something that one of the other boards that falls under the DEI umbrella is working on that's coming up. And then last but not least, and I know that we'll be talking about this, there's observance of racial healing that Mary has mentioned, and the city of Raleigh internally will be working on some efforts to celebrate that week as well, in terms of just kind of having some opportunities for us to engage with the public, but then also for us to engage with employees in the form of a town hall as well. So just knowing that we'll be following the lead of HRC in terms of racial healing for that week. So did want to did want to share that as well. But short of those things, that is all I have, and I yield my time.
All right, so now we have a couple of, anybody have any questions?
All the information for the minutes. You said the Fair Housing Hearing Board, their event is this Saturday. Where is it located at?
That's at Worthdale Community Center. So it's at Worthdale Park. And it's from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. So if you know families in need specifically in that 27610 area code, we encourage you to share that information. Having worked in that community for many, many years, when there are storms and things of that nature, they are disparately impacted, just because it really does kind of exist right on the floodplain, and, electricity becomes an issue. And with the winter coming, they certainly could benefit from that. So
Can you send us that information in an email too, please?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So we don't have to.
Because I work with a lot of families in that area, and that would be a great information for them.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And just as we're advertising, it's for the first 100 families because they do have limited resources. But for the first 100 households, they will make sure that they have the supplies they need.
Okay, thank you.
so we have 2 invited guests, or 3, but 2. So our new Raleigh Community Engagement Manager, Teresa Hilton, has joined us to say hello and give us a few words.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I am Taisha Hinton, the city's new community engagement manager. And I must say, it's surreal to be on a call with the Human Relations Commission. I've watched a lot of your meetings virtually, like through YouTube, and now I'm the person on the meeting. So that's a little surreal right now. So thank you for having me. I do want to acknowledge Commissioner Thompson. I was at the council meeting and watched you give that great presentation, and I was just so excited to witness that in person. So I won't be before you long. I have maybe 6 slides to just talk with you a little bit about the office, and then give you an opportunity to ask any questions of me. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Raleigh, so I'm actually returning home. They're cleaning, so you may hear the vacuum out there. I apologize. So should I close my door? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay. So born and raised in Raleigh. I left after high school to go to undergrad at North Carolina A&T. I'm a very proud Aggie. If there are any Aggies here, Aggie pride.
I'm an Aggie mother.
Yay! That's Aggie pride right there. I lived in Ohio for a little bit for graduate school, where I got my master's in social work. After that, I moved to Winston-Salem, where I worked for 6.5 years and did a lot of different work. I was over the city's minority women-owned business program. I did some work with diversity, equity, and inclusion, sanitation, housing, and a lot of other areas there. So I'm glad to be back home. My mother is probably happier than me to have me back and her grandson, but we're glad to be home. Can I share the screen now, Travis? Okay, give me 1 second. See Byron, he said Aggie pride in the chat. Okay, can you all see my screen?
No.
Nope, because I didn't hit share. What about now?
Yeah, it's coming. There you
All
go.
right. So just a little bit about the office. So I've introduced myself. So the office structure will have me as the community engagement manager. We'll be hiring a community relations analyst senior. Those interviews actually begin next week. So that's why it says to be determined, because we haven't actually hired someone yet. And our office reports directly to Mr. Evan Raleigh, who you all know, who is in the city manager's office. Our purpose is really what's stated here: lead people-focused processes that increase the capacity of the community and to improve the quality of life for individuals who, that's supposed to say live, I apologize, but live, love, work, and play here. So some of the things our office is responsible for: advancing the city's community engagement efforts, and finding ways to encourage active participation in how we make decisions and how we arrive at public policy decisions in that entire process. Here are just a couple of additional things in no particular order. My vision for this office is what you see in the biggest print is relationship building, is one of the driving factors of our work. We'll be looking at areas of opportunity for city departments, what we can do better or what we can do differently. Participating in community-wide organizations and meetings and events, whether it's community-based or neighborhood-based. We're also going to kind of be a liaison or a kind of support to city departments, especially those that are forward-facing and into the communities, really having conversations with them about what's working and what steps are they taking and how are they taking that feedback and incorporating it the next time that they have a similar event. And then our office will also be doing some strategic public engagement efforts, which is really fancy for making sure that what we're doing is matching what we're saying we're doing. So being strategic about our decision and finding ways to keep that process fluid, because you don't arrive at an end point and you say, I'm done with it. I reached the height of community engagement. There is always work to be done. You all understand that, so I don't have to explain it to you, but just really being strategic about our efforts as an organization. And I just wanted to leave you with a couple of the things that I'm working on right now. Number one is getting some staff. I need some help. I've also recently been tasked with obtaining public input and feedback on the city council's terms and compensation. I don't know how familiar you are with that, but the city appointed a study group to look at the council's terms, their compensation, their overall structure. And so I'll be sharing the information soon. We have some listening sessions coming up there. I'm also working on the city's voter education and awareness program. So that'll be sharing information about early voting, when to vote, how to find your polling place to increase our turnout at the local election. Most recently was the 2022 redistricting process. So after every census, the city is required to go and look at our districts, and based on population growth, the districts shift a little bit. And so what will happen there is that we'll be presenting 3 different options of potential maps for 2022 and obtaining feedback. And again, when we have those dates, I'll share them with Travis, who can get the information to you. I would really love all of your participation. And then I included the 2 departments that I'm in the constant communication with in my couple of weeks here, which is planning and development services and communications. They've both been such a blessing to me in the work that I do, and just really understanding how we're getting information out. How do we decide, when we share, how many days in advance do we share a flyer, or what kind of feedback do we take about flyers to make changes? Or when it comes to planning and development, what's our process? And I'm really grateful for them to allow me to ask uncomfortable questions and have some really candid conversations. And with that, I will take any questions that you all have for me.
I have one question. You mentioned the maps. Is your team going to draw the maps?
Oh, no. I couldn't draw a square for you. The maps are going to be made in planning and development services. So once those are created, you can come on in. Yeah. Once those maps are created, the 3 different options will be presented to the public to provide just pros and cons of the different options. And that's the information that will be shared with
so that's
the study group.
I got it. Okay. Do we know when
You do
that's
not
gonna
want me to
happen?
draw your map, Commissioner Thompson.
Do you know when that's going to happen?
It's going to council on the 16th, so very soon.
Oh, okay.
Taisha, I had a question. How do you envision the HRC collaborating with you, and how can we support you in some of your priorities?
Thank you. That's a really good question. So I'm something that I did not have on my slides is that I'm in conversation with the city manager's office about what's going to be in place. So what type of board or external body will help guide the work of this office. And as we're having those conversations, we're thinking about how we can collaborate. Thank you. How we can collaborate with the Human Relations Commission, what type of input and feedback we can utilize in creating that external body of sorts. So once I have that ironed out, I can give you more specifics, but do know that you all are high on my list of folks to tap on the shoulders of.
Okay. Awesome. I'm looking forward
Travis
to
is like,
working
she didn't tell me that yet. Sorry, Travis.
with you.
got put on the
Spoiler alert.
spot.
Is okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Anybody else have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
I have a question.
Oh,
Byron can go, and then I'll go.
Byron.
Appreciate that. So my question is around the redistricting process as well. I know you said that the city's going to present 3 maps, and then the community will be able to give feedback. Do you know if the community will have an option to present maps themselves, or if organizations will have an option to present, maps to council as well during that process?
That's a good question, Byron. To my understanding, the options are being or have already been created by planning and development, and they will be seeking feedback in the forms of pros and cons of the maps that they present.
Okay, got you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you just being here. We are so excited to have you here, and I would encourage you to look at our committees if you're interested in tapping people out. That's a great space where we're doing a lot of wonderful work, Ms. Hinton. The question I have for you is, it seems like y'all are really intentional with what you're doing in your position and with this new office. Are there any municipalities or other cities that y'all are looking at to be a model for Raleigh?
In the form of?
Community engagement.
Yeah, we've definitely looked at peer cities and kind of how their community engagement offices are structured and the oversight that they have. Absolutely. There's a couple of ideas that I saw with the city of Durham that I've had conversations with my supervisor about. So yeah, we are open. I mean, Raleigh is such a unique city, right? And so there are some things that I think we don't necessarily have to start from scratch, but I think there are others we have to be cognizant of the culture, that we have, and making sure that we're cultivating it. But yes, we are open to it. We've looked at it, and we've definitely had conversations. Is there a specific city or model that maybe you want me to check out?
No, I was just curious.
Okay, if you think of something, let me know.
Will do.
I'm all over it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments? Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. And I'm hoping this is not the first and the last. And this will be
It's the first, but it's not the last.
Many different conversations. I'm really excited about the things that you presented in front of council and the things that you just gave us a heads up on. It's all going to be it's all wonderful. I mean, to get the maps out there and get some comments from people, I'm really excited about that.
Thank you so much. I apologize. Again, I'm grateful that you all took the time to meet with me. I put my email address in the chat group.
Okay.
So feel free to reach out to Travis or reach out to me, and I'll get you any information that you're looking for. So we will be in touch. Trust me.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right, up next, I sent out a month or so ago a statement and a resolution from the Raleigh Friends meeting, and some of the comments back was to invite them to talk to us about the Raleigh Friends meeting, some background on the group, background on how they came to create the resolution, and any co-sponsors that they have at this point. And just then any questions or conversations that we want to have with them. So I want to, Deborah and John are here representing Raleigh Friends Meeting. So I will turn it over to them.
Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're very thankful to Mary for inviting us and for you all taking the time to read the resolution that Mary did send to everybody. I'm Deborah Bromley of Raleigh Friends Meeting. I've been a member there for almost 8 years. I've been a Quaker since 2001 up in Pennsylvania. And we've been here in Raleigh for about 8 years now. And John?
And I'm John Shuford, and I moved back to North Carolina in 2013. Used to live here. My family goes back generations in Catawba County. A little bit background on the Quakers, as Mary had suggested. Quakers have a history and tradition of working for racial justice. And we, along with many other organizations and faith communities, are asking the city of Raleigh to adopt a resolution supporting community reparative justice for the African-American community in Raleigh. This is an essential first step in the racial healing of our community, acknowledging the traumatic and devastating impact of racism, including the enslavement of African-Americans, followed by Jim Crow, to the current day systemic racism must occur before systemic efforts for reparative justice can be successful. Our community, both white and people of color, suffer from this history. Oppression damages the soul of both oppressor and the oppressed. Durham, Asheville, Winston-Salem, and Charlotte have begun this process and have adopted similar resolutions, along with over 300 communities in the country. Some background?
So I'll give you some background about how we came to this point. Raleigh Friends Meeting, or Quakers, we refer to ourselves as RFM, so I'll abbreviate that. We've been working on racism issues for quite some time in support of our testimony on equality. Belief in inclusiveness and equality are core values to all Quakers. RFM started this work in 2017 by formally supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. In July of 2019, we took the intentional step to become an anti-racist meeting and adopted a minute, which is a formal Quaker document to support that intention. All of our decisions within the meeting are guided by the question, how does this decision support RFM and its goal to transform into an actively anti-racist faith community? We began work on a proposed Raleigh reparative justice resolution in 2020 based on the Asheville resolution. The resolution needs to come from both white and Black organizations and faith communities in Raleigh. We did not intend this to be strictly a Quaker movement. We've shared the concept of a reparative justice resolution for Raleigh and received strong support from whites and people of color.
Those who are co-sponsors at this point are Friends of Oberlin Village, Livable Raleigh, Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, Christ the King Lutheran Church, Western Boulevard Presbyterian, the Sessions of West Raleigh Presbyterian Church, Raleigh Friends Meeting, and also individuals as part of organizations, Kathy Tansberg of Congregations for Social Justice, the Reverend Jamon Taylor, pastor of St. Ambrose, Reverend Jalis Overy, associate pastor, Pullen Baptist Church, the Anti-Racism Ministry of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh, Alan Schwartz, pastor of Highland United Methodist Church, Serena Johnson of Orchid Bloom, and then also individuals Barbara Zelter, Monique Edwards, Kimberly Zuctarian. Of the people that we have spoken with, everyone has said this is something that's of value. This is something that we need to have in order to move forward with racial healing.
So Mary asked us to also to indicate what we are requesting the Human Relations Commission for today. So we would like the support of the commission for the resolution and for this commission, along with all of the co-sponsors, to present it to Raleigh City Council for adoption. And we have a quick timeline because we've been working on this for quite some time, but we are really hoping that the City Council could adopt and announce the resolution on January 18th, 2022, the National Racial Day of Healing.
So the reason that we got the idea of coming before the Human Relations Commission is we were talking with Stormy Fort, and she said one of the best ways to get the attention of the City Council is to have it come from a commission like the Human Relations Commission. So we can answer any questions. We feel it's extremely important. There is a lot of racial healing that needs to occur. We can see it day in and day out. It's not just the police and the Black community. It's many, many other areas, Pardon? Okay.
We are doing, just so you know, we're doing promotion on National Racial Healing Day.
Can we?
But I'll let people ask questions on this resolution.
Well, I
And-
have hey, everybody, sorry I was 3 minutes late earlier. But I did want to hear about Raleigh Friends a little bit. Mary, I believe you were going to send us a link to their website.
I did.
And I
I
never
put it in.
received it. Did you do it?
It was in the agenda, right under their name.
Oh, okay, sorry, I must have missed it. But I did wanted Deborah and John, I read a little bit about the Quakers before, and I just was wondering, is it a religious organization or are you all coming as Quakers? Because I just wanted to see why you all are taking this step, because it seems like the Quakers, if you can clarify a little bit, the Quakers are more religious organization, correct?
Yes, Quakers are a religious organization. Most people would consider us Christian. I always answer that depends on your definition of Christianity. But Quakers have been long known historically for their work in social justice. So we felt compelled to try to do something about the racism in Raleigh. So this is part of the work of social justice for our Quaker meeting.
So Quakers were one of the first, if not the first organization to work towards the abolition of slavery, and worked on the Underground Railroad, have helped many, many slaves to get freedom and also to live under Jim Crow successfully. We've also done a lot of work with Native Americans. I was just talking to somebody at the Occoneechee site in Hillsborough just a week ago, and he told me there were three types of Europeans, according to the Occoneechee. One was the traders, the other was the tomahawks, and those are the ones who did the violence, and the third, a whole category, were the Quakers. So our history has been not only to talk about equality, but it is our responsibility to witness it, to actually do something about it. And that's exactly what happened with our meeting. We educated ourselves about the situation with systemic racism, with white privilege. And we said, that's not enough for us to know. We must do something to make a difference. So that was the kind of the seed.
Okay, thank you so much. I just have a quick question because I know we're limited on time. I did read your resolution. This was a while ago, and I did have a problem with the first statement you have. I could not support this at all, and I would have to discuss it further with my colleagues, because I feel like the first statement you all started with was to apologize to city council. Current city council has to apologize for slavery or something similar of the, I don't remember the exact terms, but we would have to read it again and discuss it against our, with the commissioners. I feel like by January, we should be able to do something, but I think we missed one, we have one meeting that we will miss, but I do feel like we all need to discuss this before we can put our name behind it. Because I feel like the words behind what you all wrote, which is, I know you're passionate about it, but I feel like we need to discuss it further before we can sign on this resolution.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Hey,
One
this is
comment that I-
Byron here. Who is that, Natalie?
No, go Byron, you're good.
No. You let me go first last time, so we gonna switch out here. Your turn. Your turn.
I will say, thank you. I do appreciate that this resolution does call on our state leaders to acknowledge our past, that this isn't just a city thing, that this is larger than just our municipality. So just thank you for that, calling on other leaders within our state.
Byron, you're next.
Oh yeah. I appreciate you all coming and giving us some more information, as well as sharing us verbally sharing with us, the background information, as well as sharing with the organizations that have signed on, as well as individuals. I know at one point I feel like we did like a vote online regarding this resolution.
No.
But I may. Okay. So are we going to actually take more time to talk about this separately, like Birta had kind of uplifted, or are we like taking a vote at this point in time?
No, we're not taking a vote, but I don't think so. I mean, I think we need to discuss this because we're signing our name behind somebody else's proposition, basically. And we did not vote on it. You're right. There was two things that Mary sent. Mary, you can clarify this if you want.
Yes, I sent two
Mary
things.
sent us two things at the time. One was a vote. The other one was just our opinion. We invited Raleigh friends. We wanted to find out more about it, what they do, that kind of thing, and where the history of this thing. So there was, Byron, I think I was confused at first too. I just wanted to let you know that we did not vote on this.
Okay, I appreciate that clarity. Just for me personally, real quick, I'm in all support of this with the list of organizations that was mentioned, as well as the individuals. Barbara Zelter, I know, has done a lot of social justice work. She's actually a graduate professor of mine. Dr. Kim Mercurian does a lot of grassroots work. I've been on the front lines with her shoulder to shoulder. So I'm open to the conversation. But I think this falls in line with the tough conversations that we're trying to host within RHC, as well as some of the ideas and conversations we've had around what we're going to do around our racial healing event. But yeah, that's just my piece on it for right now. But I'm definitely open and looking forward to the conversation we have in-house.
Anybody else? Rabbi Solomon, unfortunately, there's a lot of sound in my house. I'm going to just read. I very much appreciate this resolution and the work of Raleigh Friends Meeting to bring it here. My question is the resolution the same as the other resolutions in Durham, Charlotte, Asheville, etc., or are there any substantial differences? If so, what are they?
We got input.
Is that good?
We used those as guides, and they are not the same because we wanted to make it appropriate for Raleigh. The Asheville one was far too strong and was demanding far too much for us that we felt was appropriate for Raleigh. And we understand that there's some strong language in here. We realize that, and there's some people who might get pushback because it's so strong. But we also realize that if we are to move forward, we have to acknowledge what has happened. And I would hate for one sentence or something like that to get in the way of something that is really important to move forward.
I agree. I mean, there are some great points in it. I'm not putting it down. I just, to me, from reading it, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it's relevant for the current city council who loves and works on your behalf, on everybody's behalf. And they have gay members, they have Black members, they have, they're a very diverse group, and they haven't done anything. So I don't know why they would be apologizing for something that happened before. I know everything else is great in it. I just couldn't, the first thing that I read just turned me off. I'm sorry.
Okay, does anybody have anything else before I give my perspective?
May I just add one more thing about the language in it? That language has been vetted with all of the organizations plus others that we've talked to and modified from the original start to take into consideration many other people's perspectives. So, we didn't just ask people to support it. We asked for feedback and who else can you tell us might want to read this? So it's been read and vetted.
With some major changes.
But by whom is you? I mean, there's so many organizations that line up with your view, right? But did you get a perspective from everybody or just across the, I know the other one, what's the name of the other organization? Better Raleigh, or what's the name of it? Mary?
Livable Raleigh.
Livable Raleigh.
Yeah.
They're like NIMBY or
co-sponsor.
YIMBY. So you got to get two different perspective, not the organizations that align just with your objective, for example. You got to get a good, kind of a fair, I'm sorry, Mary, I have to ask about this. I've been waiting for a month because I read every single paragraph in this thing. So I would like to know more about it. And I want to know if I put my name behind it, I want to understand it.
What other questions do you have for them? They're here now.
They saying that the verbiage that they used that was across, they kind of ran it by a few organizations. That's great. But are those organizations doing the same thing you all are doing? Are they NIMBY, YIMBY, whatever? Like, you have to get a different perspective from left to right, not just the people that align with you, is all I'm saying. Just to me, the language was not right. It didn't sit well with me. I'm sorry.
And that's your opinion, what you have.
That is my opinion. And if we put my name behind it, I would like to get clarification.
But, okay, so I'm trying to get to what you're asking. They said they vetted the language to the organizations that they had listed. What are you looking for other than that answer? That's what I'm trying to get to. You want more information. I'm just trying to get,
I would like to discuss it, not before voting on it, would like to discuss it with the group.
All right, that's
Maybe
fine.
have a meeting, a separate meeting, and really read it, each paragraph, because we're all going to be held responsible for this if we put our name behind it.
Okay, so do you have any other questions for Deborah and John? All right, thank you. I appreciate you coming forward, Deborah and John. My perspective on this is that this is not for the individuals that are sitting in those seats. This is the government's responsibility, as in government. It's not an individual. We're not talking about a specific person or persons that are sitting in these seats. They have a responsibility to the residents of Raleigh, not for their individual thoughts. I've read the Asheville when that came out, and the others that have been proposed in North Carolina. I have not, I can't say right this second that I've read others across the country, but I do a lot of volunteer work around this. So I listen to a lot of information. I know it's, I know it rubs people the wrong way, but that, to me, that's the way we make progress. So we will thank Deborah and John for bringing this forward to us and attending and giving us the background. We appreciate that. We will then, I will call a meeting so that we will discuss each paragraph and go through it and dissect it, and then we will talk about vote. Does that make sense to everyone? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And if we can help answer any questions or anything, please just let us know. We appreciate your
do.
time
Thank you.
and attention. Thank you.
All right. What's next? All right, so let's go to our committees. Let's start with grants.
All right. I am pulling this up. Okay, so we all voted via email for the funding of $1 million to a total of 23 different agencies. That was presented by the city manager. Excuse me, I have a couple different things open. By the city manager on November 2nd. And was approved. And as Mary mentioned earlier, there's going to be a formal recommendation for another $1 million. Is that correct, Mary?
Yes.
And this is specifically for organizations that didn't quite have all the right things in their application. We're not able to get access to any of those funds.
And I don't think it's just going to be the ones that were for this cycle. I think it's going to be broader than that. Smaller organizations that are out there.
Okay, but still nonprofits that are getting support to the Raleigh area.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we're getting ready to get ready for, you're on mute.
Yes, so for the next grant cycle. So our next grant cycle will be around February, March, but come January, we're going to start sending out the applications, and organizations will be able to apply beginning January. Is that correct, Travis?
That's correct. And I will look, I got the date in my email. There's a specific date that they've decided, or that that Budget and Finance has recommended that that all of the grants, all the folks who are requesting city grants or approving city grants rather, will go before council. I want to say it's in early April, but I will be able to I'll be able to confirm the exact date, but the date has already been given to us.
That's about right. That's about when we did it last year.
Okay.
Wonderful. Only question I have actually is this extra $1 million, was any decision made, or was there conversation about?
No, yeah, the details of that will come later.
That's a great question.
Travis, do you have more details?
I was going to add exactly what you did, Mary. It's a great question, Gabriella. At this time, we don't have any indication of the oversight of the process or who would be kind of overseeing that process at this time.
Okay.
All right. Anything else for grants? Okay. Community Relations and Celebrations Committee. Or November.
Hang on, Zubaida was trying to ask a question.
Oh,
it seems
sorry.
like.
I'm sorry, I was speaking on mute, so obviously you didn't hear. No, very quick question. I know we were trying to, roll in the extra $1 million offering into whatever we had with these 23 agencies. Was there any pushback on that? The fact that we did not want to do that? Travis?
Good question. To my awareness, there was no pushback, but I think that at this time, my understanding is that they're still making determinations with that additional $1 million. So in terms of the specifics, I have not heard anything at this time. So if I do hear any specifics or any connection to any boards or commissions, I'll certainly let you all know. But at this time, my understanding is that the latest I heard is the approval of the ARPA funding at the November 2nd meeting.
Okay. Wonderful.
This is just an aside. I found it was I found the link today for Wake County, the funding that they have available through ARPA, and I'm happy to send that to anyone. I can put that in the chat if anyone's interested and wants to send out to other nonprofits.
Okay.
Please do.
All right. Community relations and celebrations.
Hey, everybody. So we're all set for, I put it in the chat here for Tuesday. Whoever can make it, it would be great. I understand this is a work week, so we're gonna be at Hope Center at Pullen Park. There's gonna be about 100 kids that will be served food by the food truck that we paid for about back in June, I think. And so, you know, we're going to have casual conversation per Mary's suggestion. I think it would be a great idea. And just kind of maybe have some resources. I believe, Travis, you were going to have some sort of printout to, for example, suicide, you know, prevention. You can, you know, they can contact this organization if they homelessness, abuse, whatever. We were going to have just like almost like a cheat sheet just to give them in case, you know, or have available at our table if anybody needs it. But I don't like just really come and have fun and, you know, that's it. I don't think we need to work at all. Just Mary and I will probably have the tent set up and everything ready. We just need to come and mingle with the community. That's all.
I thought we were going to be inside in a room or something.
We are.
Oh.
It's inside. Yeah, but just come mingle with the people, right? So we're not gonna be playing
There's not a
games.
program.
They're gonna go eat. Yeah, they'll eat and then they'll go inside and talk to us and that's all. But
Yeah.
it's, they're looking forward to us going there and they're excited about it. That's for Tuesday. So if you don't mind, just kindly send me if you are available or not. It's only an hour and a half, as you can see, from 6 to 7:30. It would be great if you're there, but please don't stress out. There'll be another opportunity on November 20th. We're going to have St. John's. We're going to be at St. John's starting at 11 o'clock. The same thing, just different crowd. And it'll be the St. John's helps like about 100. They feed 100 people a day, homeless people a day. And they are I don't know how to say it without sounding stupid, but they help with the gay community. Travis, help me out. I know there's a word for it.
The LGBTQIA+.
Thank you so much.
Yes, no worries.
Yes, thank you. So they help with that. And anyway, we'll be there and we'll do the exact same thing. There might be a bigger crowd then. But that's the second event that we're going to have. If you all don't have any questions, I will fill you in about the other events that we're talking about that our committee kind of discussed. If you don't have any questions about these two events.
Can I make one comment? Can you do I know you did an email with the information on both after this meeting, maybe tomorrow sometime, so everybody can clearly see what the two differences are in the times and the addresses.
Yes, no problem.
I'd like everyone to figure in their life, you know, which one that you can attend. You know, if you can't be there the whole hour and a half, please pick something that you could attend. I think it's important that we all are there, not to both of them. We don't need everybody at both of them, but I think we need a good mix of faces and plus we need the experience to hear what's going on in the community. So I know it's around the holidays. We're trying to do it before we get into the Thanksgiving and then the December holidays. But I really think it would be, and it'd be nice to see everybody in person too. That was the biggest thing about the powwow, was the fact that I actually, you know, got to see somebody in person. So that was nice too.
Yeah, I was a little sorry that we missed you, Mary. I met Gabriela.
I know, I heard you were there, but we just missed each other.
I had a quick question. Are children welcome to help? When I say children, I have a 13-year-old who likes to do stuff like this, or is that welcome?
Yeah, come on. And in the information that we pass, that Travis, that list that you're put some positive resources to help too. I don't want everything to be.
So interestingly enough, and I'm glad that that came up, I had two questions, really it was three, but Ms. Mary, you answered one of them. I think the idea of having the address and the dates for each event with kind of a sign up of sorts going out would be helpful. That way, you know, kind of who's where. The other two pieces I had was originally there were the card stock flyers that we have been putting in bags and things at events with the QR code. At this time, I think that we've ran out of those. So the page that we develop and what we put together, it'll probably just be something on a sheet of paper with some resources. So interestingly enough, and this is what I was going to suggest, I can absolutely do some research that's relevant to those folks who would, you know, likely be at this event. What I would encourage everyone to do, and I would say Friday is probably a good day, or maybe by Monday. I'll send out an email after this. Maybe by Monday, if there are recommendations that you all have by Monday morning, I think that it would be great if you provide me with resources. I'll pull together what I can think of, and then I think the more the merrier in terms of providing resources to redirect them to. So I'll work on that, but I'll encourage your feedback on that as well.
Should we do one of those sign up?
When we talked about this before, I know I didn't mention it this time, but we had said, I had mentioned probably putting any kind of job training, things like that. So it wasn't all negative. It was about job training for the younger kids. You know, that kind of thing. I know I named three that were negative, but you know, unfortunately there were, you know, there are kids who need help in those situations.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I just, I want to balance.
Or, absolutely. Job training, or, you know, we can all, I think we can all come up.
Oh, we lost you.
One thing, it would be great. Just one would be great, just on a piece of paper, and you know, just all of our input would be great.
Okay, so
if you all don't have any questions about that, I'm going to move on to some of the ideas we have for next year. Do we have
one last thing I was going to say, the third one that I was going to mention, and this is actually something that's unique to the communications for the Human Relations Commission, just to be sensitive to this moving forward with all of your events. So I know that one thing that I've been in communication with Richard and Miss Mary about was this idea of the potential of putting pictures from events that you all have attended online. One thing with the city, if there's ever a picture of a minor, someone who is not legally an adult, we're not able to post those online. So I know that with the Hope Center at Pullen, I know that demographic is a younger demographic. I'm not entirely sure of the ages of everyone. I know a lot of them are phasing out of foster care, but just in the event that it was someone younger, you might be careful with pictures at that versus, say, you know, the church that's feeding the homeless. You might be able to post more of that online. So, you know, with all of your events, anytime there's minors, just something to be sensitive to.
Thank you.
And sorry to add to that, Crystal and I talked about this before. Crystal, correct me if I'm wrong, but when there are people who are homeless and, you know, they don't necessarily want to be advertised as homeless, they want a little discretion. So without their permission, we really cannot put their faces either. This is, I know Mary knows this, and some of the older folks know this, but for the new people that are coming on, you know, some of the people that do need help sometimes don't want to advertise it on Facebook. So just a little discretion, I think that would be great.
Yeah, maybe it's just us.
Yep.
Yeah, that we're there. All right. I know we normally end in an hour, but actually our meeting is really an hour and a half. But I'm going to go over today because we're
well, Mary, I'm not finished.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just looked at my clock and I just don't want people to get antsy. We're going to continue for
well, we have just a couple of events to report, just for people to put on their radar for next year. We have the Mayor's Unity Day, which is going to be a March or April. We'll let you all know about this beforehand. We're going to help on June 25th. We're going to be supporting Out Raleigh. And then we wanted, and we have plenty of time to do this, but we're probably going to suggest to be part of the Christmas parade to let people know. But anyway, we'll let you all know about this. We have a whole year for that one. But just to let you know, March or April is the Mayor's Unity Day. We're getting some dates from the mayor. And then for June 25th, okay? Sorry about take too long for this meeting.
No, it's not. We had guests, so you're fine.
Okay.
Any questions? All right. Thank you for your time. And thank you for your effort. And this November, I'm so excited about our two events in November. Doing good work, guys. We're doing good work. All right, Diversity Relations Committee, excuse me.
Yes, Mary, we met last month, and right now we're mostly focused on the Racial Healing Day, which you've talked about some already. For those who don't know, that's set for January the 18th of 2022, which is the day after the MLK holiday. And what we're looking at now, everything is still just tentative, but what we're looking at now is possibly planning a Zoom meeting in the evening of that day and having that be two parts, one part being a speaker, and then the second part being breakout rooms. What we've talked about is having a speaker that we think would draw an audience to participate in the Zoom meetings. We did the Zoom meetings because we just simply don't know what's going to happen with COVID. You know, ideally we want to meet in person, but we just want to go ahead and do this. And we found that there's some advantages that come with doing the Zoom meeting, actually. And right now, the speaker that we're looking at as our first priority is Heather McGee, who is the author of The Sum of Us. And we thought that would be good because that would help to lead up into, first of all, what she has to say is pertinent to that day. And The Sum of Us is pertinent to that, but also it might help us lead up to the book club on February the 15th. And so that's what we're looking at, see if her schedule works out. If not, we're preparing a list of other speakers. And the second part will be breakout sessions. We talked about possibly doing that based on topics or based on communities. I feel awkward because I'm telling you, Mary, but actually you're the one who planned it. I'm just reporting on what Byron and Mary planned. But and also we talked to the Kellogg Foundation, which I don't know if you will want to say more about that, Mary.
Okay.
But yeah.
So actually I'll send some information on this. So Gail Christopher was the leader of she was the executive director of the Kellogg Foundation for many years. And she and a team were actually created the framework around truth, racial healing, and transformation. Out of that work, there actually right now, there's 2 bills out in the House and Senate sitting for a commission to study truth, racial healing, and transformation in the United States. But also the Kellogg Foundation over the last 5 years have promoted and had activities around National Racial Healing Day. This will be year 6. And with that, they will have promotions and information, and their events are going to start around 3 o'clock that day. So we will be pushing out some of that information. Gail, I was on a call with Gail Christopher. She's doing a video around National Racial Healing Day. So I expect I will see that within this end of this week or early next week, and we will use that too in our promotion. Right now, this year is really just educating the Raleigh residents about National Racial Healing Day. What is it? What can the conversations we can have. So that's basically what we're going to do on the 18th. There's going to be another national event on the 18th in the evening done by some political, well, I shouldn't say not only political, because there's going to be some 501c3 major folks are doing an event that evening. So we're going to try to get the sweet spot in between to have ours, but we will have a lot of national support on giving education to our Raleigh residents on this. And I'm so happy about Travis saying that the equity and inclusion office is also going to do something with the City of Raleigh employees. And that's good. That's exciting too. So there's a lot of things. I'm working with another person and she's been out talking to a whole bunch of different organizations in the Raleigh area about this day. So we have some support out there to kick it off for our first year trying this. Questions? All right. You want to talk about anything else?
I can knock out the public safety committee if you want me to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have another meeting set for the 18th of November. There's really nothing new to report on. We're still, Travis is still working hard to reach out to the Office of Sustainability and schedule a date for them to come talk about the city community climate action plan. And also, he thankfully is working to schedule some time for the chief of police to come and speak.
Oh, that would be exciting. All right. Any questions? Okay. Communications committee?
I don't have any real updates, and I'll kind of turn to Travis. I know the last time we talked, Travis is going to go back to the city and see what kind of guidelines or boundaries we had. And like, for example, I know we'll have this event coming up. We can take photos within the guidelines that we talked about earlier. But Travis, do you have any updates from as far as the city, as far as limitations and what we can do? And
yeah, it's a great question. What I would share in terms of updates that I have from our communication department, there's a couple of things. The first one is they are at work on, and I mentioned this in brief detail, but they're at work on some templates that are going to be specific for boards and commissions to communicate through flyers and really just kind of communication channels as a whole, and really locking down some specifics to the protocols in terms of how boards and commissions are advertising events and things of that nature. One thing that has been shared is that at this time, we encourage the continued use of the Raleigh Communities outlet. So as events are coming up, if they are events that you all want to communicate through social media and all of that, as they work to make determinations regarding what that communication would look like. But we just ask that we continue to utilize a Raleigh Communities page for the 2 events that you have coming up in the month of November. Interestingly enough, those were ones that we weren't advertising to the community because we're specifically focusing on the populations that those nonprofits are serving. However, as we approach January,
we need something.
Really, right. My hope is that we have some information regarding what that looks like. And then last but not least, just knowing that communications has said that as that all becomes solidified, that they would build some time to speak with the commission. And I think that they're going to talk with boards and commissions in terms of, how that impacts you all and share information they have regarding.
Okay, so we need to talk to them very soon about January, because that's a lot of that information is going to come out like soon, over the next week or so. We need some save the dates. We need some information out there that it exists.
And the great thing about that is, and this is per my understanding, and I can double check, but per my understanding, in terms of developing flyers and things of that nature, there are flyers and like, I guess, kind of giveaways, so to say, you know, just kind of advertisements that you want to create that could be given out via those channels, you could absolutely do that. So I'll give an example. With the Fair Housing event that's this weekend at Worthdale, we worked to create a flyer, just a very, you know, straightforward template flyer of what was happening, and we were able to distribute that, right? So I want to make sure that I'm clarifying that we're not limited in terms of the creation of, you know, a flyer or advertisements or what have you. I think it's just more so the way that it is distributed, and in terms of, you know, like boards and commissions having their own independent social medias and things of that nature. That's more so what I know that at this time we are.
Oh, we never said we were going to do that.
Correct, right. But in
So
terms
the flyer that I sent out, we can use that right now.
yes, that's my understanding.
Okay, all right.
So moving forward, if we do that, do we need to send someone to kind of, you know, bless, so to speak, you know?
That's a good question. What I would do is err on the side of caution. If there is a flyer or something that you all want to, you know, promote through, let's say, you know, a listserv or something of that nature, if you send it to me and just say, hey, can we have communications vet this, or can we see if communications can send this out? I would have no problem pushing that to them.
Okay, because we already I have that one that the save the date one that we got from the Kellogg Foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll push that to communications, Ms. Mary, and have them take a look at it and make sure that we're good. And if they say we're fine, we'll push it.
I want to look at to make sure it says Raleigh Human Relations Commission on it. I just sent it, but I think it might have Kellogg stuff on it too. Well, I want to get rid of that. All right. All right, so I will look at it and send it to Richard and Travis, and we'll look at that and get that going. Okay.
Hey, I asked a question in the chat. Bertha said that my sound is in and out, so I'm putting my questions in the chat. Can anyone share the social media handles on like whatever that is, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, my understanding is that it all goes through Raleigh Communities. What I'll do is after this meeting, I'll include that in an email to everyone, the link to those social media presences. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Good question. Any other questions? All right. Bylaws, we know that. Are you guys working on this, Keith?
Who else is on the committee?
Jim.
All right. I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him.
Well, can you reach out to him?
I will. I didn't know he was on the committee.
Yeah, it's you two.
Okay.
Yeah, the two lawyers.
All right.
Thank you. Oh, we got a new lawyer now. Young man. Okay, I'll let you alone for right now. All right. Black History Education Committee. Since my energy has been on National Day of Racial Healing, we've got to get back to this. So anybody interested in Black History Education Committee, please send me a note. In January, we will pick that back up and start working on some of the things that we've committed to look at. All right. Let's see. And I don't have any, I thought I had something in old business. I thought I had something else. I put it in old business or new business. Do you guys have anything under those? Am I looking at a down version on my tablet?
I'm just looking at notes from some of our meetings. I know we talked about defining when our next meeting is, the date.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I have under community events, there's a Transgender Day of Remembrance, and I put a link in there for anybody that's interested. Does anybody have any other community events that are happening?
Well, I don't know if, I'm not sure if this is appropriate for HRC. you guys will tell me, but, and the Interfaith Council is holding a prayer service at the Interfaith Food Shuttle. So that's on this Sunday. If you think this is appropriate for the commission to know about this, I'll send some information.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else you want to put in chat or send us that's happening? All right. The last thing I want to talk, anybody have anything? The last thing to talk about is our meeting in December. Right, Gabriella? That's right. Okay. We were in discussion in the leadership group about the fact that the council is out for December, and that we would follow as a commission, because the commissions usually follow what the with the mayor and city council, their calendar. So they will not have meetings in December, correct, Travis?
I'm muted, sorry. I can confirm that. I'm not entirely sure if they will be adjourned the entire month of December, but in my consulting with my colleagues, my understanding is that if you all did want to recess for December, that you all could do that. That's my understanding.
Okay, the only thing is that if we do this, we have Racial Healing Day coming up in January. So I'm open to having research, not having a meeting in December, but I am not up to everyone not helping participate with the committee working on Racial Healing Day, since it's going to be January 18th. So
When is that, Mary, please? The 18th, January 18th?
18th of January.
18th.
Yeah. So I'll leave it discussion or.
Well, here's my my 2 cents about this. If we skip December, I mean, I don't know, it's only an hour out of our life, so it's okay if we need to meet for other things, but my concern is more about this Raleigh Friends resolution. I don't want to do it by email because I took the time to read every single paragraph. And I know with this, there's Livable Raleigh is one of the people that are against all the developers, so I just want to make sure I make a good decision about this. So for example, some of the issues that they brought up was the housing, equal housing. So I'm wondering why equal housing, the committees are not involved in this. If the issue is an equal housing thing, should we be like overstepping our boundaries? They should be involved on this if we're saying something about it. So I feel like we really need to set aside either December before I think they want it by January, correct, that signature. So maybe at some point we need to meet about this, whether it's a formal meeting or off-site, and whoever wants to be in on the meeting, and just discuss the points and whether we want to, back this up or not. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind putting in the effort just to kind of have an educated and include the new members, Tim and everybody else in on this, and get everybody's opinion on the different paragraphs in this resolution.
All right, that's a good point. So anybody have any other points?
I guess my thought is that like this proposed resolution, you talked about like fair housing. With this proposed resolution, it is drawing attention to the historic redlining that has occurred in various neighborhoods in Raleigh in particular. And so like there is a connection to equitable housing or having access to housing because of the systemic government, like policy-led ways of saying, okay, we're only going to allow certain groups of people to live in these certain areas. And so I think that there's a really clear connection to everything that is thought out in this resolution. I think that they've done an excellent job at being very intentional with all the wording that they're using, the input that they've gotten from all these different community members, from different faiths, from different areas of the community. It's just very thorough. But yeah, if we want to have more discussion, it sounds like they want to present this to City Council before the January 18th Day of Racial Healing, so that officially on January 18th, the council can officially announce it.
Yeah,
Are they, the question I had, are they asking for our signature?
they're asking for us to be a co-sponsor, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, this is my thought. Since we already have it scheduled, let's do our second Tuesday in December. And this is the only thing will be on the agenda.
Second Thursday, Mary?
Excuse me, second Thursday in December. And this will be the only thing that we won't talk about committees and all that. We'll just go right to this and anything that we might need to talk about for Racial Healing Day. How does that make? So it should.
Yeah, racial healing too would be great. Thank you.
So let's do that for those two items in December for our December meeting. And we will not do the other regular meeting things. And we'll wait to do that for January. We will approve minutes from this meeting in December. But other than that, we won't go through committees and all that. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Trying to find another time and all that.
Yeah.
Let's just use our time and just have the conversation.
I'm wondering if we should go ahead and aggregate all our concerns from the get-go and send those out beforehand, as opposed
that would be great.
As opposed to picking through it. We'll just here's the concern, and so we can knock it out real quick.
Yeah, and the fact that if we do it like that, I love that. Thank you, Richard. Everyone will have time to think about it.
That's right.
And it won't be right in front of your face, trying to make a decision and listening to someone's thoughts. But yes, so let's just share our thoughts and our concerns, or just our thoughts on this issue. And we'll.
Yeah, Mary, I just sent an email asking if you don't mind resending it to everybody, just the new group of people that rolled on, that way they have it. Yeah, and if you don't mind, and we'll look at it again and read it, because I remember reading each paragraph. But I don't remember.
It's attached to the email that I sent yesterday.
The one you sent yesterday? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have a copy. Yeah.
All right, so everybody has it?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Anything else we need to cover?
No, we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
I appreciate everyone hanging in there and getting this work done today. And we will see whatever group signs up for Tuesday. And if not, we will see you on the 20th.
And I'll send the information
and then,
out.
And then we will see everyone for our regular meeting on December, I don't even know what the date is. December 9th, it looks like. All right, appreciate all of you. Have a good month. Take care. Be safe.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Talk to you
Thank
all
you so
soon.
much.
See you
We'll
Tuesday. Thanksgiving,
We'll see you Tuesday. Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.